My name's Tal Kitron, T-A-L, last name's Kitron, K-I-T-R-O-N. I'm a premium tutor at Appleruth Tutoring Service, and I teach SAT and ACT Prep at Westlake High School.
Okay. So what is the goal of the PSAT Prep class, and when does it take place?
PSAT Prep class is targeted towards the highest scoring sophomores, rising juniors, and it takes place starting in August of the year that you're supposed to take the PSAT. It runs all the way through October. The test is generally given on the second or third Wednesday of October, and so the PSAT class runs in the morning of every school day from about 7:10 a.m. to 8:10 a.m. and is offered up until the week right before the PSAT takes place.
Okay. What is the importance of the PSAT in regards to the National Merit Scholarship?
So the PSAT is actually the only test that has any impact on the National Merit qualifying program, and students take the PSAT, both 8th, 9th, 10th grade, but the one that counts is junior year. And in that case, the highest scoring juniors, only the very highest scoring in the nation, are eligible for National Merit scholarships.
Okay. On average, how many juniors take the PSAT and how many go on to qualify for National Merit?
So really at every high school, if it's a qualifying high school, every single junior takes the test, and so that means nationally about 1.5 million students per year take the test. I think from that number, and I have the numbers here, we've got 50,000 are recognized, so out of 1.5 million, 50,000 get some recognition, and then 16,000 of those 50,000 are bumped up to National Merit semifinalists, and from that 15,000 are eligible for the National Merit finalists.
Okay, what benefits come to National Merit Scholars?
So there are three different types of scholarships that come. There's a $2,500 scholarship that you just get from being a finalist, and not every finalist gets that. There are also corporate scholarships that you can get, which are a little bit higher. And I think probably the most important thing is that if you actually achieve National Merit, a lot of schools will either give you a full ride or look very favorably upon it. So if you get to that status, schools will look at that and be very, very impressed and offer scholarship money of all sorts to you.
How can a student who does not take PSAT Prep prepare for the PSAT?
The way to take the way to prepare for the PSAT if you're not actually in the class is pretty similar. So one thing is you get a book, you take a look. This year, actually, because it's a new test, you can use Khan Academy. College Board has released about 1,000 practice questions. There are official mock tests offered through Appleruth, which I think people need to be aware of. And really just kind of preparing for the SAT in general should prepare you for the PSAT going forward.
Okay, can preparing for the PSAT also help prepare one for the SAT?
Yes, so along the same lines. Yeah, absolutely. What we always say is, so first off, this year, the new SAT doesn't come into effect until March of 2016, but the new PSAT has already come into play. It's already this October. So we always liken it to preparing for a sprint by running a marathon. So preparing for the SAT is probably the best way to prepare for the PSAT, but of course, the same is true. The tests themselves, as of March of next year, will actually be just about the same. Very, very similar.
Okay. Do you think you can talk a little bit about the process of the PSAT prep class and what all goes on and what type of techniques you teach?
Yeah, absolutely. So the process of the class is generally we want to kind of go back between the three portions. So now it's only graded on the new test is only scored on two sections. There's reading and language combined, and there's math. So we try to bounce around just like the test will do and cover a lot of algebra because now there's not much geometry on the new test. We cover a good deal of arithmetic and basic concepts, but then also just strategies for taking the test. So we want tips, tricks, the easy ways that a student can actually master to know what to expect and think like the writers more than anything else. And so it's a lot of back and forth. We do problems on the board. I open it up and try to have the students participate a lot, and so they can kind of decide the course of the class a little bit.
And are there any additional comments you want to make?
There is one. I think it's really important that people know not only about the mock test that Appleruth offers, the PSAT class, the SAT class, but there's also one thing that African American students have the option of on the PSAT, which is check the box for national achievement. And so all you have to do is check the box, I'd like to be entered. For that, there are only 160,000 students that enter, but it comes down to 4,700 who are honored and 1,300 finalists. And so that's an important backup. So maybe you don't have the score for National Merit. The cutoff is slightly lower for National Achievement, but you can still get some pretty significant scholarships. So I think it's important that people know about that because a lot of people at Westlake will be eligible for National Achievement and just don't know about aren't aware of the contest in general.
Okay, so look into the camera, state your name, and spell it.
My name is Rani Shagarabi, R-A-N-I. Last name S-H-A-G-A-R-A-B-I.
Okay, so over here now. In what ways have you found the PSAT Prep class to be helpful so far?
The PSAT Prep class allowed me to take initiative to familiarize myself with the new PSAT, since the one we're taking in October isn't the one, or isn't the same format as the last one we took. And it's something I probably wouldn't have done myself. Even though I did get emails from College Board about there's a new PSAT, I wouldn't have invested in learning more about it. And getting to take mock PSATs definitely helped me familiarize myself with the new test.
Okay. Are there any specific test-taking techniques or tips that you've learned that you wish to share?
I think the most important test-taking technique to remember is that the answer is there in the choices. Like, they give you 4 choices, and one of them is the right answer. So you had to take out like your prior knowledge and things you believe from the exam and focus on the text and what it says and getting your answer and making sure you can justify it.
Okay. Have you had the opportunity, well, you answered that earlier. Are there any additional remarks you wish to make?
Mr. K is an amazing teacher, and I recommend anyone who's a junior or a sophomore to try to familiarize themselves with the new PSAT or potentially take his class.
Awesome.
Yeah.